20 times birds messed with the wrong opponent. They may look cute until they cross paths with the wrong creature. Get ready for hilarious, bold, and completely unexpected stories of birds who weren't afraid to confront giants, thieves, or even overly confident humans. But before we start, subscribe to our channel and give us a like. Now, let's begin. Number 20, bird versus fox. Imagine the encounter of two completely different worlds, birds and the fox. On one side, creatures of wings and feathers, varying in size, speed, and strategy. On the other, the fox, a cunning, stealthy predator known for its almost theatrical intelligence. The question is, who dominates when these two meet? Birds in combat have tricks that shouldn't be underestimated. Some species are agile and fast, capable of diving from the sky like arrows. An eagle, for example, can reach astonishing speeds in a swooping dive and carry prey heavier than itself. Crows and jackdaws may not have the same strength, but they make up for it with collective intelligence. When attacked, they band together, harassing the enemy in a true psychological war of pecks and deafening cries. Chickens and smaller birds might not seem dangerous alone, but in a group, they form a defensive barrier with wings, beaks, and claws, making them far from easy targets. Another advantage of birds is their strategic height. From the sky, they can observe and anticipate movements. Sharp beaks, cutting claws, and quick reactions make them opponents who should never be underestimated. Many birds are also experts at alerting the whole group at the slightest hint of danger, turning an individual fight into a chaotic collective battle. Then enters the fox, and here we have a show of its own. Clever, silent, and patient, it embodies stealth. Its natural camouflage and light movements make it a born predator. While birds rely on aerial vision, the fox counts on surprise. It's opportunistic. It attacks when the enemy lets its guard down, and when it bites, its sharp teeth deliver lethal pressure capable of taking down prey larger than itself. The fox doesn't rush. It calculates, analyzes, and exploits the opponent's weakness. Against smaller birds, victory is almost guaranteed. It leaps with impressive agility, capturing what seemed unreachable mid-flight. Its physical endurance and ability to dodge also make any confrontation a tough challenge. However, not everything is in the fox's favor. When facing larger birds, like hawks or even a united group of crows, the story changes. It may try, but collective resistance and coordinated aerial attacks test its patience. With every peck or dive, the fox loses ground, showing that not all cunning can overcome unity. So the question remains, who's stronger in this duel? If we consider individual strategy, the fox has the edge. A natural hunter, agile, and clever. But if we analyze collective power and organizational ability, birds win through unity, shared intelligence, and mastery of the skies. The final trophy, therefore, goes to the fox in a direct encounter against solitary birds. But against organized flocks or larger birds of prey, the sky rules. So tell me, in your backyard, would the fox stand a chance? Or would the neighborhood birds turn it into just another intruder running from pecks? Number 19, bird versus wildcat. Imagine the wild stage. On one side, the birds, rulers of the sky with fast reflexes, sharp vision, and collective tactics that often seem impossible. On the other, the wildcat, a terrestrial predator with strong muscles, sharp claws, and the instinct of a solitary hunter. It's the encounter of two distinct worlds, the dominance of air versus the mastery of land. Who comes out on top? Birds bring a series of natural advantages that can't be ignored. First, their vision. A hawk, for instance, can see prey over 2 kilometers away. This allows birds to detect the enemy even before it thinks of approaching. Airspeed is another deadly weapon. Crows, hawks, and even small birds can dive in coordinated attacks, confusing and tormenting predators. In groups, they become an organized air force, as if the jungle had its own squadron of fighter planes. Mobility is another trump card. At the slightest danger, they can simply take flight, escaping the reach of enemy claws. And don't think they're just defensive. Many birds, like hawks and owls, carry sharp talons capable of piercing skin and muscle with frightening precision. Some are true jungle surgeons, always aiming for vital points. Then comes the adversary, the wild cat. Whether a lynx, serval, or small wildcat, they share the same feline essence: born hunters. Unlike most predators, the cat doesn't rely on brute force but on cunning. It's a camouflage master approaching silently, silently, nearly invisible in the vegetation. When it attacks, it's like a furry lightning bolt, a precise leap, sharp claws, and teeth that can lock onto prey in seconds. Another crucial point, terrestrial agility. Wildcats can jump up to 2 meters high without a running start, some even higher. This means that even against birds flying low, the cat is still dangerous. And don't forget endurance and courage. Even when facing larger prey, the feline rarely retreats. What it lacks in size, it compensates with technique and lethal instinct. But here's the decisive factor. While the cat relies on surprise, birds have the sky as refuge and strategic advantage. A single feline can terrorize a nest, but when facing multiple birds, the equation changes completely. Swarm attacks, precise pecks, and collective distraction turn the situation into an almost impossible challenge for a land hunter. Even if it catches one, the cat rarely emerges unscathed from a coordinated aerial strike. In the end, between the terrestrial predator and the warriors of the air, the title of strongest goes to the birds. They dominate through vision, speed, and above all, the ability to unite against a common enemy. The wild cat is formidable, but alone, it cannot overcome the collective power of the wings. So I ask you, if you were in the middle of this battle, would you rather be on the ground with the cat's claws, or high above with the privileged vision and freedom of flight? I know which side I'd choose. And you? Number 18, bird versus coyote. Birds in the animal kingdom are not just beautiful creatures decorating the sky. Among them are true winged warriors. Think of eagles, hawks, and even intelligent crows. Each carries a different weapon. Some rely purely on strength, sharp talons capable of tearing skin like razors. Others rely on speed, diving from the sky in a fraction of a second, hitting prey before it even notices. Then there are those that work in groups, like crows and jackdaws, specialists in coordinated attacks, annoying, distracting, and even taking down much larger animals. Birds are fast, strategic, and in the air, almost untouchable. They turn the battlefield into a three-dimensional chessboard, where anyone who cannot fly already starts at a disadvantage. On the other side, we have the coyote, a medium-sized canine, but with the courage of a giant. It may not be the strongest of the wolf and jackal family, but it makes up for it with intelligence, endurance, and adaptability. A coyote can run up to 65 km/h, jump over 3 meters in a single leap, and above all, it never plays fair. It is cunning, patient, and knows how to exploit the opponent's weakness. Its teeth are living blades, capable of crushing bones, and its bite easily exceeds 150 kilograms of pressure. Furthermore, coyotes rarely hunt alone. When necessary, they team up with others, turning the fight into a coordinated ambush. Comparing them, birds have the advantage of aerial mobility and surgical attacks. An eagle can tear a coyote's back in seconds. Flocks of crows can harass the canine until it's exhausted. But on the flip side, the coyote has the advantage of physical endurance. Unlike fragile prey, it can withstand assaults, has thick hide, quick reflexes, and can turn the game on the ground. One successful bite from a coyote's jaw and the bird would have little chance of escape. Who wins this fight? If we're talking about a single bird versus a coyote, the balance tips toward the coyote. It is versatile, strong, and can respond to solitary attacks. But if the scenario changes to large birds like eagles, or especially coordinated flocks, the story is different. Constant aerial pressure could make even a tough predator like the coyote think twice before advancing. In the end, considering all scenarios, the title goes to the coyote. It is more complete in direct combat, can endure more damage, and has deadlier weapons on solid ground. Birds shine in speed and strategy, but the coyote holds the throne of strength in this duel. Now tell me, if you had to pick a team in this battle, would you go with the agile winged squad, or the clever prairie thief, the coyote? Number 17, bird versus mongoose. When we think of birds of prey, we imagine sharp talons cutting through the sky and a predator's gaze spotting prey kilometers away. When we think of the mongoose, we immediately picture a small, agile, and daring creature that faces even venomous snakes without flinching. Two different worlds, but both with highly specialized weapons. Who comes out on top? Let's break it down. On the bird side, we have aerial superiority. A falcon, eagle, or even a medium-sized crow enters combat with unique advantages. Privileged vision, high-speed dive attacks, and talons that work as natural blades. An eagle, for example, can apply up to 400 psi high of pressure with its talons, more than enough to pierce the hide of small mammals. The element of surprise is also a trump card. The mongoose may be fast on land, but it can never compete with a silent, precise attack from above. The mongoose, however, is no novice in battle. We're talking about an animal that has built its reputation by confronting venomous snakes. Its speed on land is comparable to that of a professional boxer, dodging attacks with near supernatural reflexes. Small but full of energy, the mongoose also has sharp teeth capable of piercing flesh quickly. Another key detail, resistance to certain types of venom. This means that even when injured by dangerous creatures, it keeps fighting. Imagine this tiny gladiator facing an opponent attacking from above. It won't give up easily. It will spin, leap, dodge, and look for any opening to strike back. Comparing the two, this is a clash of opposite strategies. The bird relies on brute force and the advantage of the air, talons, beak, and surprise. The mongoose relies on speed, evasion, and audacity, fighting until the last second. But in a direct confrontation where the bird can strike before the mongoose even notices, the scales tip heavily toward the birds. After all, no matter how fast the small mammal is, against an aerial strike at over 150 km/h, even its agility has a limit. So who wins? The bird. It has the reach, strength, and strategic position to end the fight quickly. The mongoose may resist, bite, and fight fiercely, but in the end, an aerial predator will always have the final word when it comes to speed and impact. And now I ask you, if you were in this unlikely duel, which side would you choose? The small, daring warrior who fears no one, or the sky-dominating hunting machine? Be honest. Or are you just rooting for the underdog mongoose? Number 16, bird versus raccoon. Birds, in their almost infinite variety, carry advantages that nature has carefully honed over millions of years. Some rely on speed, like peregrine falcons, capable of diving at over 300 km/h. Others trust in the power of their beak and talons, like eagles, which can crush prey bones with the pressure of a mechanical vice. Smaller birds may not have brute strength, but they rely on cunning and mobility. Flight is their greatest weapon, the ability to strike and retreat in seconds, to surprise with surgical precision, and to escape when the situation gets tough. They embody lightness, strategy, and speed, a true army of the sky. On the other side, the raccoon. This small carnivore, famous for its facial mask and skillful paws, is a creature that combines intelligence with ferocity. Don't be fooled by its curious gaze or playful look. The raccoon is a natural survivor, strong for its size, with blade-sharp teeth and claws ready to climb, dig, or tear apart. It is extremely agile on the ground, able to fight head-on or use cunning to turn the fight in its favor. Its quick reflexes and incredibly precise hands make it an adaptation machine. If you've ever seen a raccoon open a trash can or even a door, you know underestimating it is a grave mistake. In combat terms, we have two opposing forces. Birds can exploit the air like no terrestrial predator can. Precision strikes from above, surprise attacks, and the advantage of mobility are clear trumps. However, if a large bird comes too close, the raccoon can use its brute strength, sharp teeth, and claws to turn the fight in seconds. It's not just a fighter, it's an opportunistic strategist. But there's a crucial detail. The raccoon isn't built to face constant aerial hunters. It excels against ground prey, where it can use its paws and teeth without restriction. Birds of prey, used to hunting mammals, have the technique and speed to strike and retreat without giving their opponent a chance to respond. An eagle, for example, could simply dive, deliver a devastating talon strike, and retreat before the raccoon could react. So in the final score, as clever and dangerous as the raccoon is, the birds have the advantage. They control distance, speed, and the battlefield. For smaller birds, the raccoon might defend well, but against medium or large birds of prey, there's little escape. The throne goes to the birds. And you, spectator, have you already decided which side you'd choose? Would you bet on the raccoon's cunning trash thief skills, or on the sharp talons and deadly dives of the birds? Admit it, if you saw an eagle facing a raccoon, you'd grab your popcorn and watch as if it were a championship final, wouldn't you? Number 15, bird versus dog. Birds, with their impressive diversity, represent a natural arsenal of strategies. Think of eagles, hawks, and crows. Each brings its own combat signature. Eagles, for example, are true aerial tanks. Broad wings, powerful flight, and talons that act like living daggers. A single strike from these talons can create deep punctures capable of neutralizing sizable prey. Crows and other medium-sized birds may not win by strength, but by intelligence. They use the environment to their advantage, attack in groups, distract, steal, and wait for the right moment. When it comes to birds in combat, it's important to remember they bring the advantage of height. Controlling the air means choosing when to attack and when to retreat, always setting the pace of the fight. The diving speed of a peregrine falcon, for instance, is one of the most devastating weapons in the animal kingdom, and even if it doesn't strike perfectly, the impact can stun any opponent. On the other side, we have the dog, a symbol of endurance, physical strength, and above all, persistence. The canine bite is a natural weapon to be respected. Depending on the breed, jaw pressure can range from 100 to over 500 kilograms per square centimeter, enough to break bones. Dogs also bring something no bird can replicate: teamwork and almost inexhaustible energy. Their terrestrial agility is impressive. Explosive sprints, quick reflexes, and highly developed senses of smell and hearing. A dog may miss a strike, but it rarely gives up. It retreats, calculates, and returns more aggressive. Even alone, its hunting instinct is razor sharp. In a direct confrontation, large birds have the aerial advantage, able to strike from above, target weak points, and escape afterward. However, precision is crucial. One mistake and they're on the ground, vulnerable. The dog, on the other hand, relies on endurance. If it withstands the initial attacks, closes the distance, and forces close combat, its chances increase dramatically. After all, no matter how sharp a bird's talons are, they can't match the brute force of a precise bite capable of turning the game in seconds. So, the burning question: who is stronger in this duel of strategies? The answer, though bitter for feather fans, is clear. The dog has the edge. Its jaw strength, terrestrial endurance, and natural persistence make it an extremely difficult opponent for a bird, even a bird of prey. But you there, on the other side of the screen, if you had to bet on this confrontation, would you choose the elegant lightness of the birds or the determined strength of the dog? Be careful with your choice, because if loyalty matters, the dog is probably already wagging its tail, ready for your support. Number 14, bird versus weasel. The weasel is a small predator, but don't be fooled by its size. Behind that slender, elongated body hides a true projectile of muscles and teeth. It is fast, calculating, and almost impossible to stop once it decides to attack. Its thin body allows it to enter burrows, chase prey in inaccessible places, and move like a living shadow. With sharp claws and teeth designed to pierce bones and tendons, the weasel is a precision hunting specialist. It's no wonder that much larger animals fear it. Rabbits, rodents, and even unsuspecting birds fall before its ferocity. The most impressive trait? Courage. The weasel does not retreat. It faces enemies that, in theory, are far above its league. It's almost a compact package of fury, speed, and technique. On the other side, we have the birds. Here, the field opens with multiple advantages: height, flight, keen eyesight, and, in many species, weapons that cannot be ignored. Birds of prey, for example, have talons capable of piercing flesh and bone in a single strike. Their curved beaks act like blades ready to tear, and sharp vision allows them to spot prey from absurd distances. Larger terrestrial birds like rheas or seriema can rely on strong legs and devastating beak strikes. It's the combination of reach and speed that puts the weasel in trouble. While it needs to get close to bite, the bird can attack from above, striking before the opponent even notices. But don't underestimate the intelligence of the weasel. This small carnivore is agile and learns quickly. It uses ambushes, exploits any distraction, and can bite vital points with surgical precision. The bird, meanwhile, relies on open field superiority. In the air, no weasel can reach it. On the ground, the advantage still tends to go to the bird, as long as it is medium or large sized, because the reach of wings and legs creates a danger zone difficult to overcome. In direct combat, what weighs more? On one side, the compact, tireless ferocity of the weasel. On the other, the aerial power and territorial dominance of the birds. The weasel is a formidable hunter, but its small body limits the brute force it can apply. The bird, especially birds of prey or large terrestrial species, combines physical strength, natural weapons, and the advantage of height. Result: the scales tip in favor of the birds. Winner: birds. Their ability to strike from above, maintain distance, and finish the opponent quickly gives them a clear advantage. The weasel is fearless, but against sharp wings and cutting talons, courage alone isn't enough. And now, the fun part. If you had to bet on this duel, would you choose the small, furious gladiator or the feathered warrior of the skies? Think carefully, because in nature, sometimes it's not just courage that counts, but who has the reach to end the fight before it even begins? Number 13, bird versus badger. Imagine the unlikely duel, birds versus the badger. Two different worlds intersecting on the field of survival, each with very specific weapons. On one side, the sky, feathers, wings, and speed. On the other, the earth, compact muscles, blade-like teeth, and concentrated fury in a low, robust body. Birds in combat bring what makes them unique, the advantage of the air. They don't need to approach danger directly. They can observe from above, strike in flight, and retreat before the enemy has a chance to counterattack. Their sharp talons act like daggers, capable of tearing the skin of many animals. Additionally, the curved beak of birds of prey is made to cut and pierce with precision, but it's not just offense. The bird's greatest trump card is mobility. At any sign of disadvantage, a flap of wings ensures distance. They are opportunistic fighters, choosing the right moment to act. On the other side of the natural ring, we have the badger. This small carnivore isn't just tough, it's a terrestrial combat machine. Few animals combine courage and brutality like it. Its thick, loose skin makes bites and claws less effective. The badger also has incredibly sharp teeth and powerful jaws capable of crushing bones or piercing flesh easily. Its secret weapon is aggressiveness. The badger does not retreat. When cornered, it attacks. Courage and brute strength compensate for aerial agility. Birds would have the advantage in quick and stealthy attacks, but in a mano-a-mano confrontation, the badger is practically unbeatable. Now tell me, if you were a bird, would you have the courage to go down and face a badger head on? Or would you stay flying high, just teasing from a distance? Because honestly, if I were you, I'd prefer staying in the sky, safely out of reach of those jaws. Number 12, bird versus opossum. Imagine the clash. On one side, the birds. We're not talking about a single type, but a collection of feathered creatures that, despite appearing fragile at first glance, carry a diverse arsenal. Some have beaks sharp as blades, others have talons that work like daggers. Medium-sized birds can peck with enough force to inflict painful injuries, while larger birds like crows and hawks possess intelligence and strategy worthy of generals. Additionally, the advantage of aerial mobility is simply colossal. Flight provides access to terrain, allows rapid strikes from above, and, of course, guarantees escape whenever the fight becomes unfavorable. Another key point is group instinct. Many birds, when threatened, do not face danger alone. They call for reinforcements. A flock attacking in unison can turn the bravest predator into a surrounded target, overwhelmed by relentless pecks from all directions. In terms of agility, coordination, and strategy, birds have a powerful advantage. On the other side, the peculiar challenger, the opossum. This small nocturnal mammal may not have the physical presence of a fierce predator, but its secret lies in something no bird can ever match: odor. When cornered, the opossum releases a foul chemical spray that not only repels enemies, but can irritate the eyes and nose of anyone who dares approach. This spray is so effective that, in many situations, mere threat is enough to make opponents retreat. The opossum is a master of intimidation without direct contact. Additionally, it has sharp teeth, small but functional claws, and a sturdy body for its size. Its strategy is not to chase prey, but to withstand, repel, and demoralize. Another strong point is resilience. Opossums can endure falls, injuries, and even attacks from larger predators, often playing dead to mislead enemies. This Oscar-worthy performance is part of their survival. Comparing the two sides, the contrast is striking. Birds have speed, reach, and strategic intelligence, while the opossum relies on chemical defense and resilience. If birds attack in a group, the opossum might repel a few, but facing multiple attackers diving from above without respite would be difficult. Conversely, in a close, direct confrontation, the foul spray could turn the tide, temporarily incapacitating the birds and giving the opossum a chance to escape. But when it comes to who is stronger, versatility matters. Birds can adapt to different scenarios, hunt, flee, surround, and even win through strategy. The opossum, despite its incredible trick, depends almost exclusively on it, and a single weapon, however powerful, has its limits. Therefore, in this symbolic battle, the title goes to the birds. Their collective intelligence, variety of attacks, and control of airspace make them more complete adversaries. And you, spectator, would you bet on the feathered army with pecks and dive attacks, or the small striped-tailed warrior who launches stinky bombs? Admit it, if it were you there, you'd probably run faster than any bird or opossum combined, just to escape the stench. Number 11, bird versus giant rabbit. Imagine the scene. On one side, the birds, queens of the air, masters of an impressive diversity of combat abilities, from eagles with dagger-like talons to silent owls attacking in darkness, not to mention falcons diving at speeds faster than a Formula 1 car. Each species brings a different combat style, but essentially, birds of prey share aerial attacks, extraordinary vision, and surgical precision. Their talons are sharp natural weapons, capable of piercing skin and flesh with ease. And when we talk about larger birds like harpy eagles or golden eagles, we're dealing with predators that literally lift prey off the ground, weighing almost as much as themselves. In terms of mobility and strategy, few creatures compare. On the other side, the unexpected challenger, the giant rabbit. And we're not talking about the cute Easter bunny, but a monstrous, muscular version adapted for confrontation. Its strengths? Its first weapon is size. Much larger than a normal rabbit, it intimidates by sheer mass. Its hind legs are biological springs capable of delivering devastating kicks. It's no exaggeration to say that a well-placed kick could break bones or repel persistent predators. Its musculature provides endurance, thick fur offers protection, and teeth, normally used for gnawing bark and roots, turn into sharp tools ready to injure in a survival fight. Another detail, the giant rabbit's senses cannot be underestimated. Its hearing is extremely sharp, and any stealthy attack would be detected from a distance. Combine that with quick reflexes and long leaps, and you have an animal that not only defends itself but can counterattack in surprising ways. One single leap could put it out of reach of sharp talons or even allow it to strike the opponent. Now, comparing directly, birds have the advantage of strategic intelligence, long-range vision, and aerial strikes impossible for a terrestrial animal to anticipate. But the giant rabbit compensates with physical endurance, impact power, and impressive terrestrial agility. It's basically a duel between who rules the skies and who reigns supreme on the ground. So the burning question, who wins? The truth is, despite the giant rabbit's brutality and surprising strength, the birds still have the edge. They can attack from inaccessible angles, wear down the opponent with rapid, precise strikes, and above all, keep the fight in the terrain that favors them, the air. The giant rabbit may intimidate and repel some smaller species, but against large birds of prey, its ground strength is insufficient to counter aerial vulnerability. In the end, the winner is clear, the birds. The giant rabbit is impressive, resilient, and powerful, but confined to the ground. Birds dominate a field it can never reach, the sky. Now tell me, if you were out in the open and heard wings flapping above, would you rather be on the birds team or trust the legs of a giant rabbit to escape? Honestly, I'd be looking for cover. Number 10, bird versus young wild boar. The birds in their immense variety carry an impressive arsenal, sharp talons that can tear, pointed beaks made for piercing, and aerial mobility that ensures a tactical advantage. Some species, like eagles and hawks, dive at high speed, reaching their prey before it even notices. Others, like crows and vultures, work in groups, exhausting and tormenting their targets until they weaken. The lightness of flight and intelligence make birds unexpected predators, ready to strike where least expected. On the other side, the young wild boar, smaller than an adult, yet still robust, agile, and already equipped with growing tusks. Its physical strength, even in youth, is notable. Compact muscles, firm legs, and a coat of thick hair serving as natural armor. It lacks the experience and brutality of an adult boar, but compensates with speed, endurance, and stubbornness that makes it fight until the end. In direct confrontation, birds have the advantage in mobility and precision of aerial attacks, but when the young boar lands a strike, it can repel and even seriously injure its opponent. Still, considering strategy and efficiency, the winner would be the birds, as they can wear down, strike from blind spots, and escape retaliation. And you, viewer, imagine being in the middle of the forest and witnessing this battle. Would you bet on the brute strength of the young boar or the calculated cunning of the birds? Choose your side, but beware. Next time you look at the sky, a feathered predator might already be looking back at you. Number 9, bird versus medium-sized monkey. Imagine the unlikely encounter, birds against a medium-sized monkey. We're not talking about a single bird species, but a group that carries unique weapons, speed, sharp eyesight, and the advantage of height. When in a flock, birds can coordinate rapid attacks, diving from the sky with surgical precision. Their talons, sharp as blades, aren't large enough to take down a heavy predator, but they can harass, distract, and even injure sensitive points like eyes and face. Additionally, flight provides near unreachable mobility on land. A quick strike, a precise swoop, and the bird is already gone before the opponent reacts. This is their greatest weapon, surprise, and the freedom of the air. On the other side, the medium-sized monkey. Not a giant, but it brings a feared combination: intelligence, manual dexterity, and physical strength superior to many animals of similar size. Its body is muscular, adapted for climbing, running, and fighting. A monkey can grab, hold, and bite with impressive force. Its teeth, although not venomous, can cause serious injuries, and its agility on branches and the ground creates a dynamic battlefield. Unlike other predators acting purely on instinct, the monkey can improvise, using stones, sticks, or strategies to defend and counterattack at the right moment. In a confrontation, what happens? Birds would strike quickly, but the monkey has the endurance and capacity to retaliate brutally if it manages to grab one. Once in its hands, escape is unlikely. However, a flock of birds could wear down and distract the opponent, turning the fight into a war of patience. Still, in direct combat, the medium-sized monkey has a clear advantage. Its strength, intelligence, and ability to fight on the ground and in trees make it a tough adversary. Winner, medium-sized monkey. Despite the bird's aerial agility, the monkey's physical strength, intelligence, and adaptability place it in a superior position. It resists more, improvises more, and is more dangerous in close combat. Now tell me, if you were in the middle of this fight, would you prefer the bird's quick wings to escape danger, or the monkey's strength and cunning to face any threat head on? Number 8. Bird versus pangolin. Imagine the clash. On one side, the birds. Fast, versatile, rulers of sky and land. Some species have sharp talons capable of grasping and tearing moving prey. Others rely on dive attacks, speed, and intelligence to confuse the enemy. Their strengths are mobility, sharp vision, and the ability to strike from unexpected angles. Yet, despite their agility, their body defense is limited. Feathers cannot stop strong blows, and one mistake can be fatal. On the other side, the pangolin, the true tank of nature. Its body is covered in keratin scales so tough that even large predators struggle to penetrate. When threatened, it curls into an almost impenetrable ball, turning itself into an armored vault. Unlike birds, it doesn't rely on speed or agile attacks. Its weapon is absolute defense, patience, and security. It's like fighting against a living wall. Here's the decisive point. While birds can attack persistently, they will hardly succeed against the pangolin's armor. It simply closes up and waits. Result, the pangolin wins, not by aggression, but by invulnerability. Now tell me, if you had to choose an ally to survive in the jungle, would you go with the bird's fast, sharp wings, or the pangolin's nearly indestructible armor? Number 7, bird versus aggressive goose. Imagine the duel, birds in general versus the aggressive goose, one of the most temperamental warriors of the animal kingdom. On one side, the birds, a vast, diverse group with different natural weapons. They have wings that cut the wind, beaks sharp as stilettos, and talons that can surprise. Small or large, many birds rely on agility and cunning as their greatest defenses, exploiting speed and flight to escape or strike from unexpected angles. On the other side, the aggressive goose. Don't be fooled by its domestic appearance. It's known for near insane courage, with strong wings that beat like whips, a powerful beak, and a long neck giving reach. The goose is fearless. It confronts dogs, humans, and even larger animals without hesitation. Its main weapon, intimidation, loud screams, aggressive posture, and the confidence of one who never backs down. In this symbolic clash, who has the advantage? Despite the bird's diversity and ingenuity, the aggressive goose stands out as the strongest in this context. Endurance, size, courage, and physical impact make it the winner. And now I ask you, would you have the courage to face an aggressive goose in your path, or would you run pretending not to notice? Be honest. Number 6, bird versus ostrich. Now imagine the conceptual duel, birds in general versus the ostrich. Not a bloody fight, but an analysis of abilities, like a championship of nature's strengths. On one side, the birds in general, a vast and diverse group ranging from tiny sparrows to powerful eagles. Their trump card is variety. Flight is one of their greatest weapons. Speed, mobility, aerial attacks, and the advantage of seeing everything from above. Many birds also have sharp beaks, cutting talons, and surprising intelligence, especially crows and parrots, capable of devising strategies. Smaller birds rely on extreme agility, while larger ones like eagles and hawks combine sharp vision with lethal attacks from the sky. On the other side is the ostrich, the giant feathered savanna resident. It can't fly, but compensates with size and strength, up to 2.7 meters tall and nearly 150 kilograms of pure power. Its legs are true biological weapons. A single kick can kill a medium-sized predator, like a young lion. It can also run over 70 km/h, an absurd speed for such a large animal, providing not only brute strength, but also impressive terrestrial agility. Its wingspan, though not used for flight, aids in balance and intimidation, making it even more imposing. If we compare objectively, the bird's diversity brings collective intelligence, flight, and combat versatility. The ostrich relies on pure brutality, size, and explosive strength, qualities few birds could face head-on. In terms of physical endurance and direct confrontation, the ostrich has a clear advantage. It's simply too big, too strong, and too fast for an isolated bird to bring down. Winner? Ostrich. It may lack the glamour of a falcon in flight, but in practice, it's a living tank, practically untouchable. Now tell me, viewer, which side would you be on? The diverse army of flying birds, capable of uniting in intelligent flocks and attacking in swarm strategies, or the solitary giant, the ostrich, master of devastating kicks? Perhaps if you were in the savannah, you'd prefer wings to escape, or rocket legs to never be caught. Number 5. Bird vs. giant partridge. Imagine the duel. On one side, the versatile, fast birds dominating the sky, capable of group attacks and equipped with a varied arsenal of beaks, talons, and flight strategies. They specialize in mobility, using the height advantage to surprise and escape when needed. On the other side, the giant partridge, a feathered tank of nature. It isn't known for long flights, but for its robustness, strong legs, and impressive endurance. This partridge doesn't run, it faces the challenge head on. With powerful legs, it can strike forcefully, and its heavy body protects against smaller attacks. In direct confrontation, the birds have agility and teamwork on their side, but the giant partridge is practically a heavyweight champion among gallinaceous birds. Endurance, strength, and determination speak volumes. Winner, giant partridge. It could withstand attacks and strike back with raw power. And you, viewer, if you were in this clash, would you prefer to be agile like the birds or resilient like the giant partridge? Choose wisely. Lightness or power. Number 4. Bird versus armadillo. The armadillo is a true natural tank. Its bony armor acts as an almost impenetrable shield, able to withstand predator bites and even strong impacts. Small but tough, it can roll into a ball or dig in seconds, disappearing underground as if it had a secret tunnel ready at all times. In defense, the armadillo is nearly unbeatable. Firm, tough, and protected, it turns vulnerability into strength. On the other side, we have the birds. They carry an undeniable advantage, mastery of the skies. With keen eyesight, they can spot prey from great distances, and with sharp beaks and talons, they deliver quick, precise strikes. Additionally, aerial mobility gives birds the chance to attack and retreat, making any reaction from a terrestrial animal difficult. Where the armadillo relies on resistance, the bird relies on speed and precision. In this symbolic clash, who prevails? The armadillo can withstand attacks with its armor, but in terms of versatility and adaptability in combat, the birds stand out. Speed beats rigidity. Winner, birds. Now tell me, would you side more with the armored tank that protects itself, or with the agile winged warrior that strikes from above and vanishes into the sky? Choose carefully. You might end up as prey too. Number 3. Bird versus large chameleon. Imagine the contest between birds and a large chameleon. On one side, the birds, fast, versatile, equipped with wings that ensure aerial maneuverability and beaks ranging from sharp to piercing. Their talons serve as true natural weapons, capable of gripping, tearing, and immobilizing prey. Their main advantage in combat is speed and surprise attacks. They can swoop down quickly from above, striking before the enemy even notices. Another point is teamwork. Many bird species hunt in flocks, making their offensive even more dangerous. On the other side, the large chameleon, a master of camouflage, patient and strategic. It doesn't need speed to dominate, as its greatest weapon is invisibility. It blends into the environment, disappears among branches and leaves, and observes the enemy with independently moving eyes that rotate almost 360 degrees. This reptile also has a secret weapon, an elastic tongue that can shoot out in fractions of a second to capture prey up to twice its body size. Its thick skin provides resistance to minor attacks, and strong claws allow it to hold onto branches and resist pulls. In a hypothetical confrontation, the birds would have the offensive and mobility advantage, striking from above and escaping quickly. The chameleon would rely on strategy, camouflage, and surprise, aiming to catch the opponent off guard. However, in terms of brute force and speed, the birds still hold the edge. Even a large chameleon would struggle to withstand strong pecks or sharp talons, especially if attacked multiple times. Winner: birds. Speed, offense, and the ability to strike repeatedly make them superior. The chameleon may master patience and camouflage, but against relentless aerial enemies, its defense falls apart. Now tell me, if you were the chameleon, would you dare to face a flock of hungry birds or prefer to hide and hope they pass by? I think you'd pick the latter. Survival is also a form of victory. Number 2, bird versus falcon. When we talk about birds in general, we enter a vast and diverse group. Some are fast, like swifts, others are powerful, like the aggressive goose, and some rely on camouflage or flocking to confuse predators. The birds group brings numbers, many versus one, endurance, variety of strategies, and in some cases, sharp beaks and talons ready to cause pain. But on the other side comes the eagle, and not just any eagle, the largest one, a predator that represents the pinnacle of aerial efficiency, with an immense wingspan, eyesight capable of spotting a rabbit over 3 kilometers away, and talons strong enough to crush bones. The eagle is nature's combat hunter. Its diving speed can exceed 240 kilometers, a true feathered missile. Now the question arises, diversity versus individual supremacy. Birds can combine abilities, but in direct combat, the eagle reigns supreme alone. Its strength, precision, and technique leave no room for hesitation. Winner: the largest eagle. And you, reader, do you feel more like part of the flock, trusting in the bird's unity? Or would you prefer to soar alone at the top like the eagle? Choose carefully. The sky is vast, but the top has room for only one. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed our content, subscribe to our channel and give us a like. Also, check out other interesting videos appearing on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. See you next time.